Hello everyone, welcome to this week in TRS-80 for the 8th of February 2019. In this series I answer people's questions about TRS-80s, so if you've got a question that you want to email me, I'll add it to the list to answer for the next video I make. So today's questions come from, the first one comes from Jeff from California, who wants to know about how to add double-sided disk drives from a PC onto a Model 1. So it's actually pretty simple. All you need is a new disk drive cable to be made up. The original Model 1 disk drive cable has teeth pulled, and that's how it selects which disk drive is in use. On a PC it's done by the drive select jumpers on the disk drive, so you need a new disk drive cable made up. Set the drive select jumpers on the disk drives in your system. You can have up to 3 disk drives that way, and you need an operating system that's designed for double-sided, double-density operation, such as LDOS, NuDOS, multi-DOS. But you can't use TRS-DOS 2.3 because it's just not oriented around double-sided, double-density operation. My next question comes from Dimitri from the United Kingdom. He's got a question about lowercase modification to his Model 1. He wanted to try to understand the reason they don't that it's required. Pretty simple really. The Model 1 as it was designed was only had capital letters. In 1977 lowercase letters wasn't considered something to be a real important feature of computers at that time, though going into the 80s it was. So they being Tandy developed a lowercase modification kit which added an extra bit that was missing from the video array, and also a new character generator. The design of the computer still meant that you needed software in the form of a software driver in order to invoke the lowercase driver, and most operating systems require a driver software in order for that to begin working. As applied to the FreHD and the quinterface, we use LDOS as our preferred operating system, and the lowercase driver for that is called KI/DVR. Stands for keyboard interrupt, but it involves streamlining the keyboard and the lowercase modification kit. So if you look up the LDOS manual on KI/DVR on how to invoke that, then your lowercase will start working properly on your Model 1. Finally, a question from Damien from Western Australia has a question about the real-time clock on the FreHD. He's wondering why it doesn't keep time on his Model 1 system, which has a quinterface connected. Quite simple really. I'll show you here on the FreHD the components that are involved with the real-time clock are the clock chip here, crystal, very little crystal there, and the battery which keeps them running when the system is switched off. So those 3 parts comprise of the real-time clock. Now the TRS-80 Model 3, 4, 4P and the Model 1 with an expansion interface have an internal, what they call a heartbeat, which can be used to drive a real-time clock inside the Model 3 and 4 and so on. So what happens is the FreHD util program that comes with your FreHD takes the time out of this chip here and seeds it into the real-time clock in the TRS-80, and then this time clock just kind of sits there just ticking over. But the actual one that you see on the screen comes from the clock that's inside the TRS-80 Model 3, 4, 4P, or a Model 1 with expansion interface. For a Model 1 without an expansion interface, so a connection via a quinterface, doesn't have that heartbeat ticking there, so it can bring the current time from the FreHD into the Model 1, but the Model 1 itself without an expansion interface can't increment the time a second at a time, can't increment the time. So it will give you the time that you last booted the Fred, but it won't actually use it. It won't be able to keep the timer. But for most people who are just using their Model 1s with the Quinterface for games and simple stuff, they're not worried about time stamping things. So that's it for this week in TRS-80. If you've got any questions on the TRS-80 that you want to email to me, you'll see my email address at the end of this video. Send them through and I'll make a video of answers for you. So if you want to see more of these videos, remember to ring the bell.